Sebastian, let me bring you in. I mean, one of the places that people will have seen you before is within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I'm curious both practically in terms of the shoot and also maybe in terms of the kind of the ideas that are within the story. You know, how different is a film like Devil All the Time? Or are there actually common threads between, you know, the Marvel films, you know, with what feel like these very kind of good guys and bad guys and a film like Devil All the Time? Or are they very different things?
I think it's always different. I think it always depends on the director, really. And like for me in the Marvel situation, largely I'd been with the Russos, who had a very specific point of view and take on everything. And so, as did Antonio here. In terms of the scope and so on, perhaps it was different. From a point of view of playing a recurring character to something that I was never, that I've never really done before. Like, this was a very different kind of role for me to jump into, in terms of the world, which was so different from how I grew up or what I knew. And even just in terms of this character, like it was more of like the challenge for me really was the physicality, I think, aspect of it, and really trying to go for something else and something new that I hadn't tried. But Antonio and I think it's so important. That's where the director comes in, the vision they have and how specific they are. And I'd always been a huge fan of Antonio's, and I knew from other movies of his that I'd seen that, in our conversations, that he knew very specifically kind of where to go with this thing and with this guy. And so I had a lot of faith in him and thus in myself because of that, to sort of just take some swings. But it's, I don't know. It's hard to kind of say like, oh, how it is different in the sense of, I guess, more familiarity for me in this standpoint. But, they're both kind of, for me, both experiences were very director's vision oriented kind of